Okay, hello at the YouTubes. Hello friends. So I've had a thought and I wanted to make a video and it's gonna be really super short and I'm not gonna edit it at all because I'm just gonna talk and we'll see how it goes. Yep, that's what's happening. So lots of times these days there are people who may change their names because they don't like the name that they were given when they were born, or they change the pronouns that they want to be referred to. So maybe they spent most of their life as Karen using she, her pronouns. So you would say, look, there's Karen, she just bought some apples. And then one day Karen tells you, and it's actually like, hey, I'd rather go by Steve. And he, him pronouns. So instead of there's Karen, she bought some apples, you would refer to the same person as there's Steve, he just bought some apples. And there's lots of prejudice against using new names and new pronouns for people who have decided to change their names or pronouns for any reason. And there's also lots of confusion about how and when the person, like, that you are, how and when you should change the way you refer to somebody. So if I knew Karen and we weren't like super close, I would say that if one of, like, if Karen's best friend or Karen's spouse walked up and was like, hey Steve, in reference to Karen, you would, I feel like a good rule of thumb would be for me to immediately switch to referring to Steve as Steve instead of Karen. And this may seem kind of odd, and some of you may disagree with me. If you do, please let me know. But I feel like the best way to change your pronouns and names that you use for somebody is if you hear someone closer to them using new name and pronouns, go ahead and switch to that. And then if you're confused about it and you're not sure, talk to that person later. So if you're at a big party and there's a lot of people talking around and Steve's spouse walks up and is like, hey Steve, and you still thought that Steve was Karen, then go ahead and start referring to Steve as Steve. But maybe later, after the party, if you and Steve like meet up at some point, be like, hey Steve, is that what we're calling you now? Do you want me to change pronouns as well? Is this name okay? Just make sure you check in with them if you have the chance. But if you're like a cashier working at Walmart and you see somebody who you would normally put on she, her pronouns, like if you saw me and then you saw somebody that I was with that was in my party refer to me as a he. What you would want to do in that case is, even though you might assign me she, her pronouns, then you would instead use he, him pronouns if you were referring to me when you were talking to one of your coworkers later or talking to another member of my party in reference to me. This goes for like waiters and waitresses too, because you don't want to put your assumptions onto that person. So you may see them and think, oh, you're this way, but you don't actually know. And the people who are closer to them probably have a better idea of how they like to be referred to instead of what you think they should be referred to because of however you've been raised. And I know there's lots of other things that we could talk about, but I mainly wanted to touch on those two things in reference to people changing their names or pronouns. And this isn't necessarily just for transgender people who are like, oh hey, new name, new pronouns, please call me by this. It could also just be for people that don't like their current name. Like I had a friend last year who she went by a name, let's make it Karen, and then she was like, oh hey, I don't actually like Karen anymore, can I go by Jessica? And we were all like, yeah, sure, you can go by Jessica, that's legit. Except for, you know, some other weird things happened and there were some other people that were like, no, we're gonna keep calling you Karen, which is rude. It's disrespectful when someone asks you, hey, I don't like how you're referring to me, please refer to me somewhere else, some way else. You want to do that. Not calling someone by something that they do not like a name or using some certain pronouns, is disrespectful. And this is especially true if they've asked you to use a different name or different pronouns. And you don't know how your reference to them using those incorrect pronouns and incorrect name affects them psychologically, emotionally. You don't know. And to err on the side of caution and to err on the side of being a good person, you would want to use the names and pronouns that they've asked you to use or that you hear their friends and family using because they know that person better than you do. And if you are someone's friends or family and they're like, hey, can you refer to me by different pronouns or a different name? Go ahead and switch immediately, as fast as you can. If you mess up a couple times, just, apologize and move on and keep trying to make sure that you are as respectful as possible to everyone around you. So that's that rant for today. Any comments down below with, other, not topics, your thoughts. Comment down below with your thoughts on the subject and we can make a discussion about it. But I think this is mainly a respect issue. Okie doke, I'll see you guys probably not soon. I don't post videos, I'm busy. Bye.